Hare Krishna. So this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class will be given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, on the first canto, chapter 7, text 22, recorded on September 18th, 1976 in Vṛndāvana. So that's Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 22, recorded in Vṛndāvana on September 18th, 1976.
Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tameka Dayamananam Apavaggosi Sangsite Sangsita. This material world is called Sangsiti, continuously suffering. That we cannot understand. This is called ignorance. Continuously suffering. They are thinking we are very happy. But this material world means continuously suffering. So, one living entity is dying and his gross body is left, and the subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, carrying him in another body through the seminar of the father to the womb of the mother, then it is placed and the body again forms, and when the body is formed, then he comes out, and within the womb of the mother there is so much suffering. We know that, many times I have discussed, and coming from the very moment the child is crying, there is inconveniences, so many things he cannot express. In this way, within the womb there is suffering, out of the womb there is suffering, then growing child or baby or boy, there are so many sufferings. Then young man, suppose becomes family man, then earn for the family, that is also suffering. Then old man, disease, inability, many thoughts, that is also suffering. And again, death is suffering. At the time of death, nobody knows what will happen. Recently, one of our god brother has died. He was suffering that some glucose food was being supplied through the nose, and with that is called taking out that also another suffering, forcibly taking out the urine, cannot speak anything. So this is suffering. This is called sanskriti. We are so foolish, we do not know that this material existence is suffering. That simply struggle for existence. Manasasthani indrani prakritisthani karsati. Simply a struggle. There is no happiness. But this foolish person, they do not know that there is suffering and how to stop this suffering. That is the real problem. Dharma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudansana. Intelligent person should always keep in view that these are my real sufferings, not that temporary I have got some misunderstanding with some friend, or temporary I do not get some nice food, and therefore suffering. These sufferings are extra, but real suffering is this. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. So suffering is, therefore, material existence is called sangskriti, samsara. Therefore we read every day from the good Vastak, Sangsara Dava Naralira Loka. This samsara, this material existence, is just like Vṛndāvana. Vṛndāvana means forest fire. Forest, in the forest nobody goes to set fire. But it takes place automatically. Even if you don't want, it will come. This is samsara. In our country, nice city, New York City, but every moment there is fire. Dang, 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 dang. Why? Very nice city, big roads, but there is suffering. Who wants this fire? But government has to make arrangements for fire brigade, and because it is great nation, very prosperous nation, there is very constantly, very frequently there is fire. Frequent. You won't find such firing in India, at least. We have no such experience that every moment there is fire brigade. Is it not? I'm exaggerating. You see, we have got so many cities in India, but we don't have such arrangement that constantly 24 hours, dang, 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 dang. At least we haven't got less suffering, because we are not so advanced. The more materially you become advanced, the more suffering. Daividhe Sagunamai Mamamaya. These rascals they do not know Sangsati. Therefore, here we see that Tameka Dayamanana Apavadgosi Sangsite. This is Krishna. Arjuna is Mahajan. He is a Mahajan. He is directly Krishna's friend. He knows what is Krishna. Therefore, he is submitted to Krishna. It is perplexity. I do not like to fight. And you are asking me repeatedly to fight. So, it is very awkward position. I cannot understand. Katpanna doso apohata sabhava. I have been infected with Katpanna dosa. I am Kshatriya, I am in the battlefield. It is my duty to fight, but I am declining. That is Katpanna dosa, apohata sabhava. My nature, sabhava, is to fight, but I am avoiding this. So therefore, my position is not good, I can understand. Therefore, Sishasteham sadhimam prapannam. I accept you as my spiritual master. You surrender, prapannam. You kindly, in instance, sadhimam. This is beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna knows that for this sangskriti, for this suffering of the material world, only Krishna is the savior. Only Krishna. Tam eka. Only you. Not anybody else. Nobody can. And he also, Krishna also says, Mam ekam. Rascal, Mam ekam. The same ekam. Arjuna says, Tam ekam. And Krishna says, Mam ekam. The same purpose. This is to be learned. That eka, only Krishna. Krishna eka saranam, that is what. Simply take shelter of Krishna. That will save you from this sangskriti, apavarga. Pavarga, apavarga. Om means not. And pavarga is the process of suffering. Here in this material world, different stages of suffering is called pavarga. The first thing is pa. This is pa, pavarga. This is called pavarga. There are 5 vargas in Sanskrit grammar. Pavarga, chavarga, tavarga, tavarga, and pavarga. Those who know, I want to say, Sanskrit grammar, they will understand. So, pavarga means these 5 alphabets, pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. So, our suffering, first of all, labor, parishram, pa. You cannot get anything in this material world without laboring. That is not possible. Just like we have got this nice temple, how we have got it? Laboring. We have to collect the stone, we have to collect this brick, we have to, if I cannot work personally, then I have to engage laborer. So this temple is not by accident, automatically, by chance, it has not. No. There must be labor. Parishram, that is pa. Then pa in English you can say frustration, or in Sanskrit the pain of an English word is foam. When you work very hard, everyone you know there is foam. We have generally seen in animals there is foam in heart. The hard labor, very hard labor, the foam comes. The first of all, parishram, hard labor, then foam, and bo. Bo means Vṛndāvana, frustration. Despite so much hard labor, still frustration. Now, our leaders are advertising that work hard, work hard. Sir, I am working so hard that I am working like an ass, like an animal, and I am tired. Still I have to work hard. Yes, this is something. They are not satisfied that human beings, Indians are working just like an ass, pulling thela and rickshaw, and still they are requesting work hard. So this is called Vṛndāvana. You work hard, 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 still you will not be successful. You will have to work hard. That is called bo. And bha means fearfulness. Just like the animal is working so hard and still he is afraid the master may whip. You are not working. He has to work still. Bha. So that fearfulness is everywhere. Ahara nidra bhaya vaithunancha samana etat pasubhinarana. The ox and bull, they are afraid of the driver, and we are afraid of our leader, of our government, of our so-called master, and so on, so on, so on. That you cannot avoid. That is not possible. Sada samadhipikina dhyam asatgraha. Because we have accepted this material body, we have to be always remain in anxiety. You cannot avoid. So bha, and at last mo. Mo means mrityu, frustration and die. And again begin with pa. This is going on. This is called samsara. Repeatedly, pa pa ba bha ma, pa pa ba bha. So, if you take to Krishna consciousness, then this pa varga, pa pa ba bha ma, will be counted. Not otherwise. Not otherwise. It is not possible. Therefore he said, Dayamanana, we are suffering. Not that due to this Brahmastra we are suffering, but the world is so bad that there is suffering. Narottam Das Thakur sings, Vishaya Vishanale Divanisi Hiya Jole. Jole means this Dayamanana. Jala means a blaze, fire. So this Sangsara Vishanale, it is not ordinary fire. Vishana, fire from poison. It is more infection. Poisonous fire. That's like the atomic energy. There is heat, but what is that heat? It's called radiation and so many things. Vishana, Sangsara Davanala, Sangsara Davanala is Davanala. And at the same time that Anala, the fire is coming out of poison. Sangsara Vishanale, Divanisi Hiyajale. We are always anxiety, full of anxiety. Sada Samadhivigna Dhiya. Even big Vaishnava kings, they also retire. Just like Ambarish Maharaj. He was always engaged in devotional service. Sabai mana Krishna padar vindayo bachangsi vaikuntum. Still he retired. After these incidents with Udbhasha, then he divided the property to his sons and he retired. Although he was the most exalted Vaishnava, such a great Vaishnava that because he was put into difficulty by Udbhasha Muni, Krishna showed his brilliance and glories in such a way that Udbhasha Muni was attacked by Sudarshan Chakra, and for fear of life, even there is fear, Udbhasha Muni a great yogi. There is no comparison of his yogic mystic power. Immediately, for the sake of his life, to protect his life, he went all over the universe for protection. And when he could not get the protection, he went to Lord Brahma. Kindly give me protection. He refused. No, it is not possible. The Lord is angry with you and he has sent the Sudarshan Chakra. It is not in my power to give you protection. Then he went to Lord Shiva. He also refused. And at last he went to Vishnu. Just see how powerful yogi he was. He could go personally from this planet to the topmost planet, Brahma, and there, from there Shiva-lo, then from there Vaikuntha-lo. Just see his power, mystic power. But still, because he committed offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, he could not be given any protection. Vaishnava aparadha is so severe. A person so powerful that by his will he could go anywhere. By yogic power he can do so. Yogic power, even there are many yogis, they take bathing in 4 places every morning. They take bathing at Jagannath Puri, at Rameswar, at Haridwar, and Jagannath Puri. 4 dhama. They take bathing. By 4 o'clock they finish. They can go. They are still such yogis. So similarly, by the yogis, by their Anima Siddhi, Lagima Siddhi, they are called. They can go within a second. They can catch up the beams of the sun and go to the sun planet. This is yoga. Not that, give me some dollars, I'll show you some yoga. They do not know what is yoga. Yoga is so powerful, yogic power. And such a big yogi, Vṛndāvana, still he was in trouble. The Gyanis, yogis, nobody is free from the trouble. Only the bhaktas. They take this, see the example. When Vṛndāvana created a demon to kill the king Maharaj Ambarish, and he was coming to attack. But Ambarish, although he was a devotee, he had no such yogic power to counteract. He thought, all right, it is Krishna's desire. If some demon is coming to kill me, all right, let him kill. He stood fixed up in that position because he surrendered. Maravi rathovi joichha tohara. That is surrender. I am surrendered to you. If you like to kill me by this demon, that's all right, welcome. Why not? Yeah, because I am culprit. So you want to kill me through this demon? Let me kill. Let him kill. So he stood up. He was not afraid of his life. But Vṛndāvana, when Vishnu sent his Sudarshan Chakra, immediately the demon was killed and he was after Vṛndāvana, such a great yogi. But he was afraid. Oh, now there is no protection. He fled here from here to there. Then to Brahma, to Lord Shiva, at last, and to Vishnu. See how much he is afraid of his life. And the Vaishnava is not afraid of it. There is no fearfulness. Ahar nidra bhayamaithunancha. These things are problems of this material world. A Vaishnava has no problem. He knows that if Krishna can give food to the elephant down to the ant, so Krishna will give me food. So why shall I endeavor for it? When Krishna gives, I shall eat. That's all. If he does not give, I shall start. What is wrong there? This is Vaishnava. He is not afraid. He has no problem of ahara nidra bhayamaikam. No. So far Maithun is concerned, it is completely reject. Bhakting parang pratilabha apohinati kama. This is Vaishnava. Vaishnava means as he makes progress in devotional service, these material lusty desires become vanquished. No more. Finished. Bhakti parasanubhava virakti anna. This is the sign. Jadavadhi mama chitta krishna padara vindaya nama navadhamaran tadavadhi vatanari sangame smarjamane bhavati mukha vikara. This is Vaishnava. When one will spite of sex enjoyment, that means he has attained the Vaishnava stage. Otherwise not yet. That is the test. Jadavadhi mama chitta krishna padara vinda nama navadhamarantuma tadavadhi bata nari sangame. Because nari sangam, sex with nari, that is the highest pleasure of this material world. Janamayitanadi grihamedi sukham mitucham. Very abominable happiness. Maithunadi. It is kandvani nakarayuriva dukkha dukkham. It is entailed with so many sufferings, either illicit or legal. There is suffering. So, this is samsara. This is the key of samsara, to keep one packed up, compact in this material world. So many things are the apavarga. The Krishna is the only means. When one is attracted by Krishna, Madana Mohan. Madan means lusty desires. And Krishna, Madana Mohan. He is so attractive that one forgets lusty desires. That's what his name is, Madana Mohan. So if you don't contact with Madana Mohan, then you will be suffering Madana Dahan. Dahan means this. Dayamanana. All is suffering, the blazing fire of lusty desires. Unless you become Krishna conscious, you will have to suffer. Therefore, it is said, Dayamanana apavargosi. You are the apavargo. So, Arjuni's surrender soul is when he felt that temperature of Brahmastra or radiation of the atomic weapon, nuclear weapon. So devotee has no other. Krishna Krishna Mahabhava. Bhaktanam Avayankara. Our only shelter is your lotus feet. Abhaya charanara bindari. Bhaja hure manasi nandanandana. Abhaya charanara bindari. So if you take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, then Abhayankara, no more fear. No more fear. And so long you do not do it, then Sangsiti. Therefore Krishna, Arjuna says, Tameka dayamanana apavargosi Abhayankara. Thank you very much. Hare.
Hare Krishna. Oh my Agyantimandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksurmiritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raguna Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Vajna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vṛndāvaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatu Bhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevicha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Any questions? Any comments? Lecture is self-evident, you know. But I can give you some insight behind how to not be affected by suffering. So, the whole purpose why suffering is there because we maintain material desires. The story of Bilmango Thakur showing even a devotee who maintains material desires would have to overcome, have to encounter some level of suffering. The story of Bilmango Thakur shows how when his father passed away, and he went to this one king. The princess died. This is in the story of princess died, and she was being cremated. So he wanted to get this wanted some wealth for something, and he dug up the area where the princess died, and the voice came saying that don't take these golden stones, don't take these bricks, don't take this wealth which I have, otherwise you'll be implicated in some reactions of karma where you may have to come back and suffer. But he was so lusty in terms of having wealth. The princess said, you can go to my father, he'll give you the wealth. He'll give you the whatever wealth you need. So he went back to the king. The king gave him the wealth, but he still wasn't satisfied. So he went back and he went to that place where the princess died, and he dug up the area. He got the wealth out, and the princess cursed him that for that you'll have to suffer now. But then Bilmango Thakur was like, but I don't want to compromise my Krishna consciousness. So she blessed him. You'll be Krishna conscious, but still you'll have to suffer. So then so that pastime happened when that prostitute, that princess appeared at Chintamani. And Bilmango Thakur was attracted to her. And the wife he married was like from a Brahman family. She was quite chaste, everything. And but he gave up her to go with Chintamani. So one time it was heavy rain and storms and Jai Shri Radha Gokulanda ki, Sita Gonita ki. So he was, Chintamani thought he's not going to come, it's so bad weather. So she locked the door and that was it. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur still came. He went across this dangerous river and he got a hold of this log. The log was actually his chaste wife who drowned herself to save him. And then he climbed on the balcony and he knocked on the door. And Chintamani said, why do you come in this dangerous situation, If you had that attraction. When Chintamani understood that his chaste wife actually jumped into the river to save him, she became very disgusted. She said, you have so much attraction for this body which is full of 9 holes with bad odors. But if you have that attraction for Krishna, then you'll achieve perfection. So after that, he was going to Vṛndāvana, and then he met a Brahman's wife or something, and he got attracted to her. And Brahman was quite cultured. He knew the culture, so he said, he's a sadhu, so you go and satisfy him. But then he asked for the pins and he pulled his eyes out. He blinded himself. But the interesting thing in this story is Chintamani had a picture of Bhaktivedanta Thakur in her house. So when he blinded himself, the blood came out in the picture also. And she was in touch with what's happening with Bhaktivedanta Thakur. And when Bhaktivedanta Thakur's desire became intense to see Krishna without any other diversion, then Krishna gave him the eyes back. So from this pastime we can understand how if our desire is very strong to connect with Krishna at all times, then the suffering which Prabhupada mentioned in his lecture will not affect us, because Krishna will give us the strength to overcome that suffering. Suffering is only there because we identify with the body. And we can see even in Prabhupada's example how he went through so much suffering, but he wasn't affected by it. Even they said, the doctor said, Prabhupada's skin was touching the bone. Normally you get veins in between, but his skin was touching the bone. And the doctor said a normal person could not live in this condition. So we can see from this example how the spiritual masters, they're on a very high platform, that they take on our suffering and they pray to Krishna on our behalf, so we can connect to Krishna. And because they're praying to Krishna on our behalf, Krishna helps them to not experience that suffering. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur explained, he said, the spiritual master is your best friend, he's your best relative, and he's your best well-wisher. So he's the one who's actually connecting you to Krishna. So if you follow his instruction and you very seriously Guru Sadhu Shastra line of understanding, then the suffering will not affect you in this world. And for doing that, one has to be very serious, one-pointed. And Prabhupada explains that, like he gives the example of Arjuna, how Arjuna was surrendered to Krishna. He had no other agenda for himself. So we have to learn to become like Arjuna, that we have no other agenda for ourselves except to serve Krishna. But we also have to understand, like from the story of Bilmango Thakur, that we should not be attached to material, we should not maintain material attachments. This will cause more suffering to us. Because Krishna doesn't want us to become attached to this material world. He wants us to come back to Him. So if you maintain any kind of attachments, then Krishna will allow us to experience that, to help us realize that this is not your real home. This will not make you happy. So Prabhupada mentions that in a lecture also, ma, how then he again mentioned the other side, apavarga, how Krishna consciousness is apavarga, is beyond this world. So if we have that conviction of just following this process very seriously and becoming, we have to become deep thinkers in terms of what is the Shastra saying, discussion on the spiritual subjects, take seriously to our chanting, and always be devotees, then the suffering of this world will not affect us, because we'll be like having a spiritual shield around us. Maya cannot enter. So I was reading this book by Lokanath Swami. He wrote a book about Juhu temple, and in there was an interesting point. Someone commented to Prabhupada that you made the Juhu temple, but but the real life is outside the temple. And Prabhupada said, no, the real life is within the temple. The outside is just illusion. So we can see how even Prabhupada supported this understanding that if you just follow the rules of the acharyas and what set by how Prabhupada is given, the suffering will not affect so much. But when we do anything outside that, then the suffering will come. That's Krishna's mercy to actually rectify us, to help us come back to Him. Any questions or comments? Oh, okay. You got a mic?
Hare Krishna. What is the set line when you see somebody or situation not so good, so like suffering or not so good? What is the set line between protection ourselves and indifference?
Well, Srila Prabhupada, he said to one devotee, he said, a devotee doesn't get involved in other people's karma. He helps people come towards Krishna, but he doesn't get involved in another person's karma if he's not going to take to Krishna consciousness. Like a spiritual master, he's there to help you connect to Krishna, but he's taking on your karma to help you to connect to Krishna because you're fully surrendered to Krishna. But as devotees, we can only encourage people to become strong in their practices. The more you become strong, then Krishna takes away your difficulties. Like that.
Thank you.
Jai. Anyone else? Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. say, but anyway, when you're on the street, it comes out, whatever need to be said, you get the power to say it.
one of our god brothers died. He was suffering that some glucose food was being supplied through the nose, and with that what is called taking out that also another suffering, forcibly taking out the urine, cannot speak anything. So this is suffering. This is called samskriti. We are so foolish, we do not know that this material existence is suffering. That simply struggle for existence. Manasasthani indirani prakritisthani karsati. Simply a struggle. There is no happiness. But these foolish persons, they do not know that there is happening, and how to stop this suffering. That is real problem. Intelligent person should always keep in view that these are my real sufferings, not that temporary. I have got some misunderstanding with some friend, temporary, I do not get some nice food, and therefore suffering. These sufferings are extra, but real suffering is this. Janma mittu jara vyadi. So suffering is, therefore, material existence